In the midst of a dense forest, far removed from bustling cities and modern conveniences, lies the town of Asherton. Once a flourishing hub of aristocracy and elegance, it now stands eerily silent, its grand mansions abandoned and left to the mercy of time and nature. The townspeople had vanished almost overnight, leaving no trace of explanation, only whispers of curses and mysteries lingering in the wind. Every mansion told a story of opulence and secrets, with overgrown gardens concealing fountains that had long ceased to flow and crumbling stone paths that seemed to lead nowhere. The largest of these mansions belonged to the Van Buren family, a name once synonymous with wealth and influence. The mansion's towering columns and vast windows now stood as hollow sentinels, peering into the darkened corridors where priceless paintings and antique furniture collected dust in the oppressive silence. But it was the grand ballroom that held the most intrigue, a place where chandeliers had once cast 1,000 lights upon lively dances and whispered romances. Now, it was a hollow shell, where the steps of former guests seemed to echo faintly in the minds of those brave enough to enter. Among the few who dared to explore the town was Elena, a young historian driven by the desire to uncover Asherton's past. Her fascination with the mysterious abandonment led her to sift through old records and letters, each piece a fragment of a puzzle she was determined to solve. Elena was not just chasing a story. She was chasing the essence of the people who had once breathed life into these now ghostly halls. Her arrival in Asherton was met with an unsettling quiet, the kind that presses against the ears and amplifies the beating of one's heart. She had read about the Van Buren mansion and knew it would be her first stop. As Elena stepped into the mansion, she felt an almost physical barrier, as though she were walking through the history itself. Her footsteps reverberated through the empty space, where the presence of the past clung to every surface. Elena's eyes were drawn to a portrait in the main hall, a family of four, frozen in time with smiles that seemed to mock the mansion's current state. She learned their names, Charles and Margaret Van Buren, and their two children, Thomas and Evelyn. Charles was a businessman whose ventures in shipping and trade had earned the family their fortune, while Margaret was known for her beauty and philanthropy. The children, precocious and beloved by all who knew them. It was in the family library that Elena found a journal belonging to Margaret. Within its pages, Margaret had chronicled the daily life of the Van Buren family, the joys and sorrows, and surprisingly, hints of fear. One entry, dated just weeks before the town's mysterious abandonment, spoke of a stranger who had visited Charles late at night. The stranger's warning of an impending doom was vague, but clearly left a mark on Margaret, as her writing bore signs of increasing distress. As days turned to weeks, Elena's research started revealing a pattern. Other families had similar last entries in their journals and letters.